Hi, my name is Jacques Christophe Branellec, and I'm currently the CEO of the Jewelmer group of companies. Being surrounded by pearls since birth, actually more than pearls, being surrounded by nature, has been a tremendous teacher. Many lessons have been learned through, I guess, the different challenges of growing up around nature. We're talking about weather, we're talking about presence of water, something that we take for granted in the city. When you turn on the tap, the water just flows. It's not always like that on the islands. Same with electricity. In the city, you flip a switch, the light turns on. But on the islands, when we're running on generator power, we don't have electricity all throughout the day. We only had it for certain hours. So I think growing up in that environment taught me different lessons about life, about dealing with challenge, adversity, but also beauty of nature. And it really grew my relationship and my love for the beauty of the Philippines, the marine environment, as well as the forests. Jewelmer, being an inherently Filipino brand, we are stewards of the national gem of the Philippines, and we are working in an area which is of national heritage, Palawan. It's the world's center for marine biodiversity and biodensity. On top of that, we are working, of course, all my colleagues are Filipino, and so we're I would say the culture, the Filipino culture of family and community is really deeply ingrained in the work that we do every day. The heritage of Jewelmer, of our pearl, is very, very much aligned with, the core of what's important being a Filipino. And I think being the purveyor of the national gem of the Philippines and exporting this gem to the world, as well as our fine jewelry, we've really taken it under our responsibility to always give our best effort in promoting the best of the Philippines, the best of what the Philippines has to offer. I enjoy this quest. I can't say that we do it perfectly, but we're always trying to find ways to learn and to improve how we represent our country overseas. Yeah. First, the journey of even discovering the golden South Sea pearl. My father, Jacques Branellec, together with Mr. Manuel Coanco, who's our chairman, started back in 1979. Most of our production was actually white pearls. It just so happened in one of the harvests they had seen this gold pearl in the harvest, and they were so in awe and enamored by this gem that they thought, how can we produce more of that? And that began this journey or this quest of how to produce the national gem of the Philippines, which then was about finding these rare oysters that had the gold lip. There was about 10 years of research, marine biology research and microbiology in terms of developing the hatchery and the breeding techniques for the Pinctada maxima until we were able to sort of breed for this color. And even today, we don't have any guarantee that we will get this color in the harvest, but definitely we've been able to create a name in the global jewelry industry, and the Philippines has become synonymous with the golden pearl, which is one of the most rare and most revered pearl categories, I would say, in the industry. Yeah, so the term sustainability before it became a sort of widely used term, I guess was very intrinsic in our process and in our journey in creating the golden South Sea pearl, which is the national gem of the Philippines. Why do I say this? Because we're working in very remote environments, and the pearl can only be produced in really pristine marine conditions where there are no pollutants. We're really far from sort of civilization. That is because the oyster that produces the pearl is a filter feeder. I mean, it really needs this pure and beautiful water to be able to create this gem. By that nature, it was part of our work to preserve the natural environment, keep it as untouched as possible, and sort of let nature do its magic. Along with that was to build these communities that were getting a livelihood from the pearl, from the work with the oyster, from protecting the environment. So it was a question is how do we make these communities sustainable moving forward into the future, right? How do we make this livelihood sustainable? And that was all about growing Jewelmer as a company, promoting the pearl as a national gem of the Philippines, as well as exporting it to all of the top brands around the world. Beyond the term sustainability, I would say that we've reached a point and an understanding now of the process. It's really about, people, planet, pearls. And we feel that the whole process of pearl farming, more than sustainable, we feel that it's regenerative. The reason I'm using that term is because I've seen before we establish pearl farm in certain sites that have been completely destroyed by, let's say, dynamite or cyanide fishing or commercial trawling. Once we establish the pearl farm, 10 or 15 years down the road, that same site is now, full of corals, different marine life that are thriving because of that marine protection, but also because of the oysters and what they contribute to the marine environment. Luxury brands today have their different definitions on what is luxury, and to varying degrees, employ or not sustainability as it aligns with their brand story. For us though, the definition of luxury is very different. The pearl is a very different gem if you compare it to other things or other products within the industry. The pearl by definition is a living organism. It's born from a living organism, right? That cannot be said about, handbags and shoes. So inherently, there is that natural symbiosis with nature that is needed in order to produce this pearl. And the symbolism of it as well, because I think there's many lessons that can be learned from pearl farming. All of us humans, we endure challenge. We go through adversity in life, right? And I feel the pearl is a symbol and a reminder that through adversity and challenge, you can overcome that and create something of beauty, something of meaning. In a way, is a definition of luxury, is overcoming adversity, being able to have a positive impact on not only the environment around you, but the people around you as well. Having a story that is regenerative and that is healing, that is rare and that is unique to our national gem and that is unique to Jewelmer. So I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. I guess I can say that what we aspire to, in continuation of the legacy that Mr. Manuel Coanco and my father have started, beyond any sort of financial measure, it was always about how do we preserve nature and how do we help people, right? And so I think that's what the beauty of this gem is. There are no guarantees. We're in a joint venture with nature where, we probably have at most 49%, nature has 51%, so she makes all the decisions. When we do get it right, when we've taken care of the environment, we've taken care of the people, they've then in turn taken care of the oyster, then the gift being able to harvest this beautiful pearl, which there is no guarantee. And then the pearl being actually a tool to be able to perpetuate that cycle, right? So my dream, what we aspire to is that despite, the environmental changes that are happening with climate change, the rising sea temperatures, the ocean acidity that's getting affected, my dream is to be able to continue this gift, right? We don't see ourselves as owners, right? We see ourselves as stewards. So we are merely protecting this environment, this gem. 10 years, Jewelmer, we hope that it will be a symbol of pride for the country. We hope that when Filipinos travel around the world, that they will be recognized as coming from a country with this beautiful gem, with all that it represents and all the values, the Filipino values that we are proud of. I hope that we can continue to have an impact as well in terms of uplifting many aspects of, I would say the art scene here in the Philippines. So whether it's music and fashion, we've had collaborations with Ballet Manila, for example. I hope that, the gift of the pearl can continuously be used to uplift the image of the Philippines in all senses. I hope that we can still produce pearls. Today, the production is actually much less than it was 10 years ago because of the environmental changes that we're experiencing. I'm sure you've seen all the number of typhoons that are hitting our country, the floods we're experiencing, amongst many other challenges. Environmentally, it's not getting easier. So for us, every pearl is a blessing. And we hope that, 10 years down the road, we can continue to do the work that we do and impact the lives around us as we are today.